What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel, check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to talk about this WNBA situation, and more particular, I want to speak on Caitlin Clark and how I think Caitlin Clark is caught in the middle of the players, and she's caught in the middle of the league, right? In between the players and the league, where it's in my opinion, it's not a good position to be caught in. And the reason why what brought this to my attention is Nafisa Collier just recently, she gave, I don't know if that was an exit interview or a press conference, and she basically threw Kathy Engelbert under the bus. She just, and when she threw Kathy Engelbert under the bus, part of what she did was she asked Kathy Engelbert, like, what would you do? How are you going to compensate people like Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and Paige Becker for the attention that they have, brought to the league and helping the league grow, right? And so a lot of people are saying now you want to use Caitlin Clark as a bargaining chip when most of the young ladies in the league did not even, they didn't, they was going at Caitlin Clark. They act like they don't like her, and they was just really didn't want to have anything to do with Caitlin Clark. But on the other hand, they want to be able to benefit from Caitlin Clark's presence in the league. And I had said this before in other videos where if, because Caitlin Clark is she's big part of the reason why the league has had so much attention, and then the other young ladies, they kind of want to benefit from that, or they want to take credit for that when it's not them. You can see that since Caitlin Clark hasn't been in the playoffs or anything, like ticket prices going down, attendance is going down, viewership is going down. So, but on the other end, the players want to benefit from that because they can use that when they go into this bargaining agreement, this collective bargaining agreement, when everybody has been letting them know all along that they should have, even if you didn't like Caitlin Clark, for whatever reason, you should have been wise enough to know to lean into the popularity that she brought to the league. And these young ladies they didn't do that until now. They want to do it when it suits them, or they think it suits them now. But I just think it's probably going to be too late. I think this league is just in a lot of trouble. It's in a lot of trouble. And so let's get to Kathy Engelbert, right? So Kathy Engelbert, she said that Caitlin Clark should be on her knees thanking her because they've given her a platform to make all this money. And I kind of want to push back on that too. Caitlin Clark's popularity came from her, the way she played in college and the NIL deals and those, even the big sponsorships like State Farm and Nike. That those were rewards for what she did in college. So in my opinion, the WNBA is gaining more popularity because of what Caitlin did in college. So if like if Caitlin Clark had been a player that nobody knew about in college, and then she got into the WNBA and she just boom, she just blew it up, then that would be different because she blew up the stage while once she got to the W. But that's not it. Everybody knew about her way before she got to the W. So I don't understand how Kathy Engelbert can take that approach. I think Kathy Engelbert should have done the same thing that the players did. Just lean into to their star player. Just lean into it, grow the league, and everybody benefits from it. But everybody wanted to take credit. And I think that, all right, if like veteran players wanted to, they were like, well, she bringing in all this attention. She's not the one who built the league. it was the same thing with Michael Jordan and Tiger Woods. Everybody saw that having Mike in the league in the NBA. I think a better example is Tiger Woods, because you had Tiger Woods coming into a sport that was not typically a sport that African Americans played, golf. And so you have white guys predominantly playing golf. And so now Tiger Woods, when he has success at golf, that's bringing in a whole different market that was there before. And so not only did Tiger benefit, but everybody else benefited. Everybody benefited from that. And then and there were some people who probably didn't like Tiger, didn't like the attention that he was getting. So and not pr- and probably, people who was jealous and stuff like that. But it just made good business sense. And it was common sense for them to buy into that. And the purses went up. Everybody started making more money at these tournaments, that Tiger was going to go to. Nike made more money because now Nike is selling, merch and clubs and stuff like that. So everybody just made a lot of money. You might have had one or a handful of people that might have said something against Tiger, but for the most part, everybody bought into it. And I would think that because these young ladies had, or not just the young ladies, but they had Tiger Woods as an example, Michael Jordan as an example. Although it was years probably before these young ladies was born, but I know they had people who was telling them like, this is it. This is it. This is a situation where y'all can take advantage of this. And they, like I said, the WNBA try to pick and choose when they can use Caitlin Clark, to their advantage. The players pick and choose when they can use Caitlin Clark to their advantage. And it's got to be crazy because she don't want to go against the WNBA, because it's not a fight that she really probably, it's not something that she started. She probably just wanted to come to the league and play basketball. And so her peers are using her as leverage against the WNBA. And the WNBA is kind of, in my opinion, they're using her as leverage too, because they're like, we created this opportunity. So she should be beholden to us, which I don't agree with. I don't really, I don't agree with she should be beholden to the WNBA. She probably she probably feel like that to a certain extent, but I know she don't want to get caught in the middle of this. And as for the unrivaled league, right? I don't think that Caitlin is even playing in the unrivaled league this year either. So, which I think is a good decision, a wise decision. Why should she play in unrivaled? When these young ladies never even eh, they want to capitalize on her popularity and what she brings to the table. So if I was, if I was her, I wouldn't play in the unrivaled either. I would just go ahead and get better and come back next year stronger and play. Because if Caitlin Clark was to play in unrivaled, and she's going to draw she's going to draw a lot of attention to the league. But then, like, what does that benefit her? When some people even saying that Caitlin Clark probably could start her own league, which she probably wouldn't be interested in doing that, or starting her own league. But yeah, if I'm Caitlin Clark, and she said all the right things. I think she did a press conference, and she didn't say anything bad about the WNBA. And she kind of said there some of the things that Nafisa Collier said at the press conference. A lot of what she said was true. And I thought that was a smart way for her to handle it, right? Like, just go straight down the middle. Don't get too don't be too political about the situation. Just go straight down the middle. And don't, she didn't act like she was dodging any questions, but she didn't really go at people too hard, which I thought was smart. And see, that's something that reminds me of some things like, and Michael Jordan took a little bit of flack about that too. Like, when he wasn't really political. He didn't really get too much into the politics of, anything political. Mike's main goal was to, like, to sell tennis shoes. his and also to play basketball. That's all he focused on, and all that other stuff. He didn't really pay any attention to it. And I see Caitlin Clark, she's using that same playbook. Like she's kind of really, she's in the middle, she's staying neutral, and I think that right there is really going to benefit her. The fact that she's staying neutral. That's what Mike did. I don't think Tiger was all that political either. They just stayed neutral, because when you pick a side, then you alienate part of your fan base, and then you divide your fan base. And she don't have to do that. She don't have to side with the players, and she don't have to side with the league. She can just kind of be in the middle, and she'll be all right. And the same thing I thought, like I said, the WNBA players, they just dropped the ball. Now this league is like kind of in, I don't know, it's just a lot of chaos going around with the league. And so if it fold, it'll be their own fault. And that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.